work with Investor Quarters and REI Live Sarasota. We are so excited today to have Scott Hetzpath with us. I love talking to him every time I do. His outlook and his training that he offers agents and and kind of his view on what's going on in the market is top of the line. I mean, he's got more years of experience than I can even count. So thank you so much, Scott, for joining us. And I'll let you take it away.
Thanks for being here, guys. So I don't know why this keeps happening, but my audio player keeps playing. So hey, I'm up in the beautiful state of Michigan and super excited to be here with you. And I just want to cover whatever you guys want to cover. I do want to share a couple things, though, that's happening in the industry. And I think it's very important to know this is happening. And I know you guys are more on the investor side. Would that be correct, Catherine?
Yes, sir.
It's more of an investor type. So I think you guys are going to have, and Mark, I know you know this, but you guys are going to have a heyday coming up in about 6 to 12 months. And the reason I think that, and I could be way off, but I don't think I am, is all the money that was being given, the money from the government is done. So all the forbearances and all the stuff that was happening when the people were getting money ended Sunday, and they're trying to figure out if they're going to extend it, if they're going to continue it. But also, you'll be crazy to know that some people haven't received their money yet when this all first started. So there's tons and tons of people that took the forbearance, right? Like, hey, I'm not gonna pay for 3 months, and the lenders okayed it. But here's the crazier part. We might have talked about this on the last one, but it leads up to why this is going to be an exciting times for investors, and sad times for others. But there's all these forbearances that happened, and all the banks that did it actually served foreclosure papers, because that's part of the process when you skip a payment for 3 months. And so I think the opportunity that we're going to have, the opportunity that we have right now, if you're looking to buy an investment property, it's never, ever, ever been a better time with the rates the way they are. It's just, they're a special kind of stupid in my book. If you're ever looking to buy a second home, if you're looking to buy fix-ups and if you flip it and fix it up and refi it and cash out, the rates are just silly right now. So it's just never been, if you're looking to free up cash on your primary residence, a great way to do it is to do a home equity line. But if you want to just pull cash because it's so cheap, because rates are in the twos, never been a better time to do it. So if I don't know who's on the call or where you're at in your career as far as buying, fixing, investment property stuff, but there's just so much opportunity happening right now, and so much opportunity going to happen in the future with REOs in that type of stuff. We just did a class, and we had a record number of people show up. And if you Google REO, like people looking for help when it comes to REOs, it's just Indeed is crazy right now. Everybody's gearing up to get ready for this, because it's going to be a crazy market or a crazy opportunity for what's going on right now.
How do you think it will compare to the 08, 09 and all of that aftermath?
That's the crazy part that people just don't know, because in 08, 09, there was a definite problem that needed to be fixed. And so once it's got fixed, but we have a pandemic that is not getting better, it's getting worse. And so kids are maybe going back to school, some are, some aren't. What's going to happen? Like, there's so much uncertainty. So there's once we figure that part out, then I can have a better answer to that. But right now, it's thousands of people are losing their jobs, thousands of people are losing their businesses. I don't know if you guys are seeing it, but a lot of signs going up for sales in the different towns that I'm traveling to right now. There's just businesses are going out. It's sad. It's super sad. But when you can, think about this. If you can only have 15% capacity, 25% capacity, even at 50% capacity, they're not making money unless they're 75% or more capacity, and they're limited to 50. So they're not even, so they're having to cut back on staff. Service isn't as good. The quality isn't as good. So it's just some sad times right now. So a lot of uncertainty, but for an investor, a lot of opportunity coming up down the road really, really soon. I will say that if you or anybody on this call knows anybody that's looking to take advantage of this refi boom, and just let them know to get in ASAP, because hopefully it'll last for 6 to 12 months, but it could be gone. So if you're looking to go to a 30 to a 15, better your situation, pull some cash, consolidate some debt, you name it. There's just never been a better time. Even if you're thinking about, okay, I need some money to put some money into some of my rentals, it's just never been a better time to do any of that.
Yeah. And I know that right when all of the pandemic, March, April, and I think that was about the time we talked last, lenders were starting to get a little bit cautious in the way that they're doing? Have those lifted back up, or what are you seeing on that front?
Yeah, great question. So they have come back. We're back down to a 600 score on the financing. Some companies are at 620 still, which is really good. So it's loosening up a little bit, quite a bit actually. Jumbos are back. So yeah, it's getting more back to the norm. It's still not back to where it was, but there's a lot of loan products that are back because I think the reason that is because they feel and I disagree with them a little bit, but we got to keep the economy going. We got to allow people to do things. There's so much equity out there. We got to help people to pull equity to help them, so they don't have to depend on the government. So a lot of craziness going on, and it changes every day. I mean, who's to say we won't go back from a minimum 600 score back to a 620? It just depends on the market. So
It is definitely, everything is changing every day, I feel like.
every
So
day.
can we talk a little bit about, because I know that you work with so many young realtors and young, or not young, new into the market, new into the industry, realtors and loan originators. Kind of how are you gearing your students and your new colleagues to take advantage of all of this as we move forward?
So whether you're a real estate agent or a loan officer, the one thing you can do, and this is whether the business, like whether the world is like it is today or it's not like it is today, is to have conversations and have a daily success plan. We have a daily success plan that we put everybody through, and even if you don't have a database, I know everybody on this call has a sphere of influence. They have people they know, they have Facebook friends. We're doing a lot of Facebook marketing right now. If you're friends with Facebook or not using Facebook at all, I think you're missing the boat. So if you're friends with people on Facebook, we're sending messages letting them know what amazing opportunity that we do have right now in this industry, and are they open to talking about it? And we're sending them direct messages. We're calling them DMs.
Yeah.
We're getting so much business just by one guy took it to a whole nother level, and he's doing a video to every single person that he's friends with on Facebook. Like Catherine, if I was to go to your Facebook page, I can see that 99% of the time with anybody, you can see how many mutual friends we have, which I'm guessing, Mark would be one. And so I could see how many mutual friends you have. But if I just to say, Catherine, you're a client of mine, okay? And I would say, hey, Catherine, hey, I appreciate you doing business with me. I appreciate your trust. I really look forward to getting you into the new home, or I look forward to closing on this and saving you $278 on your refinance. But hey, I noticed that we're mutual friends with a couple people on Facebook, but I also noticed you have another 1,000 friends that I don't know. And I obviously can't help them all, but man, I would hate for any of your people that you care about the most to miss out on this what's happening right now. And so I was wondering, could you refer me to 9 or 10 people that you care about the most on your Facebook, that I can reach out to maybe help out, see if I can put them in a better situation. And the reason I bring that up, Catherine, is when we call people to do business with them, or we're doing business with them, what I teach people is to look for a moment of gratitude, right? So when Catherine said thanks for being here today, I'm like, that's like, okay, she just opened the door for me to go back and go, hey, Catherine, hey, thank you for letting me be here. I was just wondering who else do you know that might benefit from these classes that we do on a monthly basis, right?
Yeah.
Gives me permission to ask. So when I'm working with somebody, when I'm working with a buyer, a seller, an investor, any one of those three, and I call them, I can look at their Facebook. I mean, this is a big deal. So I can look at their Facebook profile as a client and say, Catherine, we're mutual friends with 35 people, but I see you're friends with 1,000 other. There's 900 and something people that I don't know. And I would desperately hate for them to miss out on what's happening right now. Give me 9 or 10 people that you care about the most that I can help out, that I can call to see if I can put them in a better situation. And like, as a realtor or a loan officer, we're getting 9 and 10 people because nobody wants the people they care about the most to miss out on this. So it's just starting, just asking. So there's 4 parts to a sale. I think I talked about it last time. There's traffic. If you have traffic coming in, what's your conversion? And then you have a follow-up in place, and then you have call to action. So right now it's just having conversations, but also letting people know what opportunity is out there, how to take advantage of the opportunity, and how do we better their situation so they can take advantage of any opportunity that they might, whether it's just lowering their term, lowering their rate, pulling cash out, consolidating debt. Maybe they need a new car, new furnace, new roof. What you'll be surprised with is a lot of people don't know that you can do all that stuff with your home. Like, it blows me away that people don't know that I can pull cash out of my primary for a down payment on an investment property or a second home, right? They don't know that I can pull cash out, consolidate debt, and lower my debt by I can pay off my car, my credit cards, what school loans, whatever it is, lower my debt per month. But then if I pay extra per month or keep my payment the same, I'll pay my home and all my debt off in like 16 years instead of 30. And so if you become the educator to make sure that you're putting the people in a better situation and always have their best interest at heart, the conversations never end. I could take your database, Catherine. I haven't even looked at it, and I just know that I could take your database and go, give me free reign and let me use your name, and I will pull deals out of your Facebook friends just having conversations for you. I would just be calling, going, hey, Catherine wanted me to give you a call. Said you guys are awesome to work with. I see we're friends on Facebook. She wanted me to call and see just how things are going. I would talk frog for a couple minutes, and I would say, hey, it's an amazing time. I just want to see if you guys are in a good situation. Do you want me to see if I can better your current situation? Are you guys looking to buy a new home, sell home, investment property, lake home, whatever? Are you, and just help them.
No, absolutely. And I know that there's actually a couple of agents on, but for the people that are solely investors, this is an easy conversation to have as well with them. You just have to adjust it a little bit. So instead of saying, hey, I can help with the refinance, it's, hey, do you have any friends or family members that maybe inherited a property that they can't take on or can't handle the overhead
Mhm.
holding cost for? And that becomes the conversation to ask for those referrals. So
Yeah, and I think, well, here's the thing is that, like, even if you so if you're a real estate agent and you ask, hey, are you in the best situation you can be in with your home mortgage? Right? You're actually showing, like, you're getting a yes, we are. Thank you very much. Boom. You just got a moment of gratitude. Or, you know what? We were thinking about that. Hey, let me introduce you to my lender. Because I just wanted to let you know, here's what's coming. We're going to ton of foreclosures coming, ton of fixer uppers, ton of, like, if you ever wanted to buy a second home, do you know anybody that wants to buy a second home? Like starting the conversation of giving first to make sure they're in a great situation, and then open it up to here's just something to think about if you hear anybody talking about it.
yeah, that's awesome.
So
And so many people forget about those little conversations that you
I
can
don't
have.
know.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. So
I
what other so you're focusing on Facebook, it sounds like right now. Are you, and I follow you on Instagram, so I see all your Instagram posts too. So you're on Instagram, LinkedIn, are you using the other platforms as well, Twitter?
I don't do too. I think my Facebook automatically posts to Twitter, but I don't use Twitter too much. I've been kind of addicted to TikTok, which is pretty crazy. So I got some dance moves that I want to pull out and put out there. But I'm gonna my big thing. Here's my big thing is right now is we've learned over the last 3 to 4 months that our business is virtual. We can help people virtually. We can do virtual open houses. We can do virtual showings. We can, like, so how do we take what we've learned and make it a business where we can travel more, do more things, and not have to necessarily be there, or tap into the technology that's available to give us more freedom to not have to be stuck in an office or stuck at any one place at any one time. And that's what I'm trying to help people with, because the world's changed. It's forever changed, right? There's nobody on this call, I don't think, that doesn't know how to use Zoom, right? Or go to meeting or whatever it is. Like, teachers are having to learn and to teach differently. So I just know, as a real estate agent, as an investor, there's ways to do things to where you can go see different parts of the world, go see, just have the freedom that we all need. Because the one thing I'm trying to do is, like, don't live with regrets. How do we run a business, a successful business, as Mark does, and I do? Like, I'm traveling all, like, I'm going to Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket in September. I'm taking 2 weeks and we're heading out there. It might be 3 weeks now, just because a wedding got canceled. So bonus for me, I get to leave early and I don't have to stick around to go to a wedding, right? That I shouldn't have been at anyway because of what's going on. So I'm just trying to figure out, how do we, as a the life, our life is short enough as it is. How do we do what we do? Um, Using the technology to communicate with people at a higher level, using the different platforms that we have available to have more freedom in our lives, but still do more business. And it's just about having conversations.
So I have so many conversations about this because I feel like Mark and I talk about this almost all the time. How do you address the hurdle of people that are in the habit, because that's what it is, of always doing things belly to belly, and that's the only way that we've ever done business, and that learning curve of we're doing it virtually now. This is how we engage and interact and feel close to do business and build that trust.
Yeah, well, we were forced to, like, a ton of my friends are like, Scotty, I'll never ever not go to an office, right? So I have to go to an office every day. And now that they were forced to stay home for 3 months, they're like, Scotty, I'll never go back to an office. You know what I mean? So that so it's putting yourself in a situation where you can't go sit around in an office. I mean, you shouldn't be in an office anyway. I'm in an RV. I'm in an RV right now at this beautiful campsite with a $100,000 outdoor kitchen, right? That we had dinner with my friends, my family come over and stuff. So like that's it's gonna have to be in your mind. It's all hanging around the right people and helping you let go of things that can be done, or just saying, you know what, I'm gonna only work with people that are virtual, that I do virtual business with, right? Showing homes and stuff like that's a little bit different. So you got to be there, but you can pick your own schedule. You can do your own things, but you can still tap into that. Like stop saying I'm not a techie. Stop saying that. You have to go, all right, what do I need to do to have more freedom in my life, work with clients that want to work with me, that accept the way I work, and like set the proper expectations and just be okay with it. But always continue to talk to more people, because if you talk to 10 people and 9 people go, you know what, Catherine, I don't want to work that way. I need belly to belly. Okay. But if you're working with 100 people and 9 people say, Catherine, I can't do that. Okay, so what? See you later. You refer them out and you get a referral fee, and you work with the 91 people that say, yeah, I can do that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So one of my hardest challenges on this whole we're going virtual atmosphere was learning how to interact with camera and not trying to read emails behind it so my eyes aren't darting, and
Yeah,
figuring out
yeah,
that I need to place the other screen right underneath this camera. How have
yeah.
you conquered all of those challenges and learning curves?
I think I think when we're meeting with people belly to belly, we're not always 100% staring at their face. So I think it's just focus. Like, don't have your phone in front of you. Don't have other windows open. Don't have stuff open to where you're intrigued to look at them. Or if if your phone's vibrating, now you're like, oh crap, who is it? Who's calling me? Who's texting me? When you're having a conversation, be in the moment. I'm big about this, and I had a conversation with a group of people. I'm like, guys, when you go home tonight, put your phone away, put it down, be with your family, be in the moment. And I think with a client, be in the moment. I think it's a shame on you for, if you're with a client face to face, virtual, however, and you answer a call, or you get distracted by something else, that it's like something that isn't important. That's just showing the other person that they're not as important, right? And so it's detrimental to your business if you focus like me. If I was to like literally be looking at my email and looking at Facebook and like being on my phone, you guys would be like, who is this guy? What an idiot, right? So be in the moment with whatever you're doing. If you don't like the moment you're in, then don't be in the moment. That's what I would say. Because if you're on the phone with somebody you don't like to be on, or you're on a Zoom call, like rethink tomorrow. Like, do I really want to keep doing this if I don't really like doing it? And start doing the stuff that makes you feel good. I was excited to come on this today. I'm excited to talk to people and excited to be here. And I'm glad. I appreciate the invite of being here. So I always like hanging out with you guys.
I definitely, when you agreed to it, guys, almost a month ago now, because I was heading camping, I was so excited because you always have such a great perspective and a way of looking at life, and the challenges and changes that we face every day. So it's always encouraging to me to hear, hey, this is how we're overcoming these obstacles that most people are facing right now. So
Yeah, yeah. There's some bad times out there. I think just being the best part about our business is change. And that's I love like the first, like, I'll be honest, the first 2 days this went down, I thought we're done. Like, the mortgage business is done, like done. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna have to find something else to do for 2 days. And then like this was on a Friday. So I remember it like it was yesterday. It gives me chills talking about it. I'm like, holy crap, man, I can't believe this is really happening. Like a pandemic is gonna shut us down, like the tower, like it shut down the world for a minute, but like this is a pandemic, right? But Monday morning, rates went to the lowest they've been in my lifetime. So I'm like, we took 480 million in applications when our normal month is 130 million. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're not done. Hey, Stacy, I'm still in business. That was my wife, my wife, Stacy. I'm like, hey, dude, we're doing really good. We're going to have record months, actually. So instead of going out of business, we're having record months every month, record days, record weeks, record. So now we got to figure out how to like keep it. So my goal is how to keep the business going after this thing goes away. And that's just connecting, engaging, and interacting, talking, having massive amounts of conversations, being focused in the time you're making calls and engaging, DMing, texting, calling on a consistent basis every day, 4 days a week.
have you adjusted your time blocks anything like, so we would normally say, okay, we're going to network and go to different events every week. Have you adjusted those time blocks, and what do they look like in your world?
Yeah, so we try to get people to do the money making activity first thing in the morning, so nothing bad happens. You know, a lot of people get up first thing in the morning. The first thing they look at is their phone. If appraisal didn't come in right, or hey, the buyer backed out of the contract, the inspection didn't go right, or something like that. Now that's a negative, and my day just started off really bad. So I try to get people to start the money making activities first thing in the morning before anything bad happens. Nobody dies from not checking your phone first thing in the morning or having these alerts come up and stuff like that. So I'm like, if we can get people, God, if I can get people to do 30 minutes of money making activity per day, it'd be huge. We try to get them to do 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I try to spend 2 to 3 hours a day, but I also have a quota. I have 3 people per day is my quota. So if I get it in 30 minutes, I'm done. I literally, and that was super hard for me to go, man, I hit my quota in 30 minutes today. I'm going to go play. I'm literally going to go play. Right. And sometimes I don't hit my quota for 8 hours, I think like, it's kind of like having a trying to aim at what was the quote that I gotta share this with you because I think it's important. So it says, you can't hit a target you can't see.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't have a target that they're going for, they're shooting for on a daily basis. They might have a lifelong goal, or hey, I want to be a millionaire, I want to have $1 million, or hey, I want to close 30 loans this year. But what do I need to do today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, that's going to help me hit that goal? And then what's the one thing that I do, if I do it today and every day, for the next 2 weeks, will help me, that's going to hit my 90-day goal and 12-month goal? One of the things we do is every 90 days we would do a 12-month goal. And what we found is we do a 12-month goal, we do a what do we got to do and where do we got to be in 90 days that's congruent with the 12 months, and then what do we need to do every other week that's congruent with the 90 and the 1 year. And what we found were people were hitting their 12-month goals every 90 days because we're focused on one thing, that if we do this one thing, we'll hit our 90-day goal, which then we hit our 12-month goal. So it's fun doing this with people when they put their 12-month goal up there. I'm like, that's it? And they're like, well, that's a lot, Scott. I'm like, okay, all right. Let's talk again in 90 days because that's nothing. I'm just telling you, you're selling yourself short. Knowing that if you just focus, we have like I said, the daily success plan where on Mondays, as a lender, we call realtors. We call realtors to build, deepen, and nourish the relationships we already have. On Tuesdays, we call our loans in process. If you're not working with a lender that does this, send them over. I'll show them how to do it. I'll show them how to help you as a realtor get more referrals from the people you're working with your lender. So we call on Tuesdays to call the loans in process, give them an update, and ask for referrals. On Wednesday, we work our past database. On Thursday, we work loans approved and looking. So we average 1 referral for every 5 in process or approved and looking, 1 referral. So if you have 10 deals you're working, we usually end up with 2 more referrals all the time. Now with the refi stuff, just having those conversations to make sure, like, remove the expectation of anything in return. Just calling your clients to say, hey, I want to make sure you guys are in the best possible situation for you, right? Short term, long term. Short term, like, do you want to pay your house off sooner? This might be a better time to go to a 15-year. And what happens when people pay off their homes? They go, what are we going to do now? I want a second home. I want a rental property. Or if they put themselves in a better situation sooner. So we do a daily success plan. Everybody should have a daily success plan, but it's tied to a target of their 12-month goal and 90-day goal.
That's awesome. That was one of the biggest game changers for me, was figuring out how to time block and staying focused on one activity, shutting my emails off and my alerts off, and only doing calls if that was what the block was, or if I was scheduling out posts to go out so I'm engaged with people, that's it.
Yeah.
And not trying to do multiple things at once because you're never as efficient.
Multitasking doesn't exist. Yeah, our minds don't work that way. Everybody thinks you can tell me, but I'm telling you, and Google did this test. They put 2 people in a room. One guy was one thing, like no distractions, one thing, boom. Another guy had all kinds of distractions, phones, computers, up, like bumble, like, and the guy that had no distractions, focused on one thing, crushed the guy with distractions. Multitasking is like physically not possible in our minds the way they're built.
No, I agree. I think the Navy SEALs tried to do a study too to figure out how to optimize that as well. It was in a book I read once.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen. So I like planning my day to be efficient. Like, I'll start the laundry and go do stuff, but I don't try to do
100%.
multiple things. So
Yep.
very
Perfect.
cool. What other tips would you give to people that are working in this industry right now that are a little hesitant just with all the uncertainty?
Man, I would, man, I don't know if you guys have seen this video. It's called, It's Not About the Nail.
Okay.
I think a lot of people don't make calls or aren't having conversations because they're scared they're going to run into somebody that's in a bad situation.
Okay.
And I would just, sometimes people just need somebody to be there and listen to them. It's not about fixing their issues. It's just about being there for them. And it's a great video. It's the lady with has a nail in her head, and the guy sitting next to her, and the lady's like, "Man, I got a headache," and the guy's like, "Well, maybe," and she's like, It's not about the nail. It's not about that. It's not about that. Just let me. I don't need you to fix anything, you know." So I think with what's going on right now, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of uncertainty. I think don't be scared of having the conversations because you're going to come across people that are doing very well. There's a lot of people doing very well in this world. There's like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, people are still flying first class. People are still renting. People are like, they can't go on a cruise, but they're still flying first class. I'm in these RV parks, and I mean, if I had Mark's money, I'd be a little higher up, but there's $1 million RVs all over the place. Like people like buying RVs is it's up 170%. People are still finding ways to do stuff and finding ways to live life and enjoy life. And I would just say, just set that regimen out there, make the phone calls, have the conversations. If you don't have anybody to call, um, get a list of neighborhoods like expireds, FISBOs. There's so much out there. They're all out there, and Mark can attest to that. I mean, that's probably how he gets half of his rental properties and fixer uppers. Is just having conversations, right, Mark?
That's right. And what you focus on gets bigger. If you think it's a good time right now, it's a good time. If you think it's a bad time, it's a bad time.
Bad time.
There's
Amen.
opportunities no matter what's going on. And you gave some really great examples today on how to cultivate business using Facebook and social media. And there's always opportunities out there when you're looking for something to do and stay in a positive frame of mind. So that was
Amen.
great what you did today, really.
Thank you.
I got a lot out of that. I'm not ready to really go to work like that, but for all of you out there who want to go to work,
That's right.
and for those of you people who are afraid to do belly to belly, take advantage of not having to meet somebody and look scared and have your armpits sweating, being face to face. Use this tool, and you said almost everybody knows how to do Zoom. You're almost getting there because I'm almost getting there. A long time before I could even come to a Zoom. I still need Catherine to send me the email. But for anybody listening, there were lots of tips given today on the opportunities that are out there in the mortgage field. You all know somebody you can help them get better and at the same time be fishing for deals at the same time. Money has never been cheaper. Opportunities are there. Don't get caught up in what the TV is telling you about all this nonsense. Get focused on where you want to go, not what you don't want to have in your life. It's a great opportunity to live life fully, go virtually, and capitalize on low interest rates and on the crisis that's happening that creates emotion in people. And it's opportunities for you guys out there who want to make it in real estate starting right when? Now.
That's right. That's right. That's right, buddy. Yeah, I would just leave you with go into it with zero expectations, make the phone calls, stay with it every single day. Hang around other like-minded people. That's what I found a lot of people get caught up in, is you're hanging around the doom and gloom of the news, and people talk like, if I get into a conversation about the news, I'm like, oh my God, really? It'll consume you and eat you alive. And it changes your attitude. If you think it doesn't, it does. Man, when you stop watching the news, it's amazing. I like, my wife watches it every day, all day. I just check out. It's negative news. It's negative news.
I have not watched the news for over 20 years. I have not seen 1 minute of the COVID-19, except when people talk about it or I see something. And I try not to even go to Facebook anymore. I know you said you're kind of hooked on Facebook and TikTok, but all that crap, you got to block that out. Focus on where you want to go and what you want, not in what you don't want to have in your life.
There you go. There you go. Focus on what you want, man. Amen, Mark. Couldn't agree with you more, brother. That's why we get along so good. Good to see you, man. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much,
Catherine. Thank you, Catherine.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Stay with us. Tell your friends all about us. We hope to see more of you on these weekly things. We bring you information for free. It doesn't mean it's not worth something. It's worth your time and it's worth your energy. Take notes when you come here. There's lots of nuggets every day. Thanks, everybody, and make it a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Kat.